My little pony, my little pony. Ah, my little pony. I used to wonder what friendship could, my little pony. Until you all shared its magic with me. Big adventure, tons of fun. A beautiful heart, faithful and strong. Sharing kindness, an easy feat. And magic makes it all complete. My little pony. Did you know you're all my very best friends?
No, it's just called Dragon's Teacast. The flow is just bonus.
Bonus.
Yes. What are we drinking today?
Ugh. Herbal tea.
You still don't like this?
No, I like this. I like
Okay.
this. It tastes kind of like oatmeal.
This tea is Applejack's Honesty. Named after the My Little Pony stuff. We won't get into
Just in case you weren't sure. Yes, it is the My Little Pony.
Well, Applejack, that's, could be named after the cereal.
Yeah, I know.
Or...
Some people almost got away got away with their easiness.
Some non-bronies almost walked away unscathed.
Nope, and we brought them back into the boiling water.
Deal with it.
It is probably my favorite herbal. I was shocked because I'm in the same sort of boat as Nick over here, and that normally I hear herbal and I go, oh, I guess. But this one was really good.
Yeah, for a lot of tea people, it's relatively the same journey. You begin liking the herbals a lot more because so much more flavor and fun little things. But then as you get into it more, you start to like the nuances of green, black, etc. even more.
Yeah, you kind of go down the color scale.
Yeah, well, herbals to me always sort of have this sort of tinny taste to them. I don't know how else to describe it. It's just, there's sort of like this rich decadence in tea. But anyways, I think I tried this one before I knew it was an herbal, and I was just like, this isn't a white? This isn't an herbal tea? Or, no, it can't be an herbal tea. And then they're like, oh no, it's an herbal tea. What? So, that was one of the reasons I like it. Anyways, wow, that was probably the most tea talk we've had for a while.
Yeah, a few weeks ago we talked about Tivana.
Yeah, but tea itself.
We've actually been increasingly talking about tea.
Good. And hopefully some of you are drinking tea, so you can join us in this conversation.
And if not, get started.
Come on!
Drink your tea.
Come on, the sale's still going on. 2-year anniversary, 25% off.
Yeah, all throughout August?
Yes.
Okay.
Use the coupon code, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Arigato gozaimasu.
That's not the coupon code.
But
it
don't use
should
that.
be. It should be.
Yeah, wait, what kind of non-weeboo thing is thank you?
I don't want to confuse the normies.
You probably all spell it wrong. And then the other people
I
will be
put 2
typing in
E's,
the
what else do you
characters.
want?
You have to have the O with the little line above it. Have fun typing that.
Yeah.
Wait, it's like a sliding scale. Like, the more you get it right, the better.
The more weeboo, the more of a discount.
The more weeaboo coupon code you use, the more discount you get.
If you type it in the pictographs, you get 100%.
I'm going to figure out how to do that, actually. I'm going to do that someday.
Kanji, John.
Okay.
Pictograph.
I was
dictionary.
I was trying to think of hieroglyphs, but I just sort of committed to the pictographs.
It's a pictogram. Or is it an ideogram? Ideograph?
I
don't know. There's
it was
like
supposed to be wrong, but okay.
I can correct you. Don't worry.
So, Mr. Nicholas,
Yes.
you have not watched or read much anime or manga this week, right?
I just watched the things that we have to talk about.
Yes.
About an hour ago.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Not much anime or manga or anything for me this week.
I, on the other hand, have been reading the brand new Baki the Grappler.
Oh yes,
And
you discovered this last week.
Yes, and I am enjoying everything. I showed you the first chapter.
You showed us some pages that were completely out of context on your phone.
No,
so.
I sent you on Bookface the first chapter of Baki.
Yeah.
So
which I
chapter
didn't
1,
really read.
Baki yawns. You think I'm joking? That's literally the first chapter.
I know that you're not, unfortunately.
Do you want to
What a great way to start out a new series.
That is
Chapter 1, Yawn. Sounds like you're in for a good time with that one.
At some point, after I caught up to all the translations, I began looking at the raw, and with the raw, it was you click to go to the next page, and after a certain point, I'm like, how long is this chapter? Then I realized I am about 4 chapters in, because I thought it was all just a single chapter. Because I couldn't read anything because it was the raw, and it was just, oh my god, people have to go through this every single week. This is just painful. You can just see the tree killing in this. Like, if anybody ever drinks any alcohol, he dedicates like at least half a page to them drinking it and enjoying it. Like 6 panels of them like swooshing in their mouth and like breathing out, and like smoke comes out. Them going like
smoke comes out.
Yeah, like half a page of that was good. It's like, god damn.
In the Yakuza games, you can go to like restaurants and bars and stuff, and at the bars especially, it'll be like you go up to the bartender and he's like, "What do you want?" And there's this list of like, it's all name brand stuff. And you could get like here's the most expensive whiskey, and he'll go through like this is the most refined palate, like sealed in maple casks or what. I don't know anything about alcohol, but he's like describing like all the like what makes it taste good and how they refined it over hundreds of years, and the undertones of flavor and stuff, and it's like, yeah, okay, that was nice. Thanks.
I want to go back to shooting people.
Oh no, you don't shoot people in Yakuza. If a gun comes out, a main character's about to die.
No, you're busy punching, stabbing.
Yeah, not even stabbing.
Just punching.
Yeah, just punching, and suplexing.
Yeah. Yeah, so the plot line of Baki the Grappler is as simple as you can get of any type of manga. It is just a bunch of people wanting to be the strongest human being on the planet. That's it. That's it! And, it follows Baki, who is the son of the current strongest person on the planet. To give you an idea of how strong he is, in the first, because this is like the 4th manga now of Baki's tale. In the first one, he was sent to fight his dad. The fight was interrupted by an earthquake, and so his dad, Hanma Yujiro, punches the ground to stop the earthquake.
Okay, you went through a bunch of stuff last week, I think.
But just
it was really ridiculous. But okay, you're just adding gas to the fire.
Yes, I am. And during the Raw, I'm curious at like what the context of this was. So in this, Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton are in this manga.
Of course they are.
Of course they are. And I have no idea why Hillary was there, because this was, after the presidency stuff. But long story short, she walked into Hanma Yujiro, who was just standing there, wearing a Speedo and a giant erection shooting out his pants. That's about as much context as I have. Because they like to put stuff in the manga that just has, like, no point to it. She just walks in, she sees this thing, and she's just like, oh my god, I'm scared, but slightly turned on, and then she left. And that was like 3 chapters.
3 chapters?
Something like that, yeah. It's like, meanwhile, back at the plot, and this is an idea of just how this show teases you, or this manga. I began reading it. I wanted to get to the point. So the idea is Miyamoto...
So it's like if Berserk just didn't ever go on hiatus and had random pointless parts instead.
Yes.
Okay.
The plotline of this is that they're going to clone Miyamoto Musashi. And I got to the point where they were talking about, it's like, hey, he's about to be cloned. And I'm like, okay, I'll read until he finally wakes up and does something. About 2 hours of manga reading later, I finally was able to stop because he did something. Because, oh my god, did they just drag it on. I don't know how this thing is so successful. They just drag everything on so much we just can't stop reading it. Oh, and Musashi is so derpy. I love it.
Much like, how does Berserk's author still have a job?
Yeah. Or how do people keep following Gundam? Speaking of which,
you want to go straight into news, huh?
Mm-hmm.
The Gundam original director and character designer wants to, or is talking about remaking the first series because the first series was so old and really low budget. In fact, the only reason that the original one, even like they had sequels and stuff and it wasn't a complete failure, was that people bought the toys based off of it and you know, other merchandise.
Yes, that's the question. Do you think that this is going to be successful, like monetarily?
Yes.
And then second question, do you think that this is going to be something...
That was the only one that I've actually finished all the way through, was the original. And most of it is just like filler. Like, you know, this week they fought the guy in this robot, and I can totally see how they managed to save it by marketing toys.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what it is. It's Monster of the Week, now sell the monster.
Yeah, so that's my follow-up question is, like, do you think that this is going to, you know, be something that people will appreciate, that they took the time to sort of remaster and, you know, sort of polish up?
Well, I think a year or two ago, they made like a 2-movie set that kind of summed it up. Mm-hmm. And that seemed to be pretty successful, so they'll probably do it. If the original director's open to it, I'd say that they have a pretty big chance of doing it. And it's the 40th anniversary.
Wow.
2 years from now, 2019. So they have a quote-unquote big project coming up. So, you know, that could be something.
Yeah, I would be really stressed working on a project like this, because it's one of those things that if you don't sort of bring it into the future and sort of, you know, offer what this day and age brings to the series versus what they had 40 years ago,
right?
What's the point, you know? And you're also by adding stuff to it, you're giving it to a new audience. But the more you change, like, why aren't you just making a new show? You know?
Yeah, and
like, it's
to be
so
fair,
many ways
they're running like 3 new series of Gundam right now simultaneously. So, yeah. And you know, to be fair, they could just reanimate it as it is exactly, and I think a lot of people would be satisfied, because while there is a lot of kind of filler and junk parts, they could do like a DBZ Kai kind of thing,
Sure,
where they just take out the Goku powering up for 5 episodes, and you know, fix up some animation. Like, there's eyelashes, you know, under the cells, under the animation cells that you can see. Like, it's pretty cheap.
Wow.
Yeah.
Actually, on the note of giant robots, I started watching something this week. I guess I picked up that you were not watching as much, and so I watched more. I went over to Crunchyroll, and on the front page, a simulcast. It's the show's called Knight's Magic. That's Knights with an apostrophe.
Knights.
Yeah. So all kinds of you know, spelling and grammar things
Silly
going on
Americans.
there. It's really neat. They sort of did a ReZero type thing at the beginning, where you started off in the modern day and age, and there's a character, and they want to transport him to a world and don't want to think too much about it.
Yeah, so I hate that setup, but the way that you described to me earlier, I love it.
What basically happens,
saves it.
And this is not a spoiler because it happens so quickly, is there's this genius programmer, and you know, he's at work, and his group is given this task that's really hard to complete, and so he sets to work on doing it pretty much right. And then they sort of flash forward, they do that off screen, and the rest of the group his coworkers are meeting and like, man, he's really amazing. And then his one buddy's like, yeah, but he's a total otaku. And they flash to him in a store filled with robot Gundam models and so on. And he's just like, oh, sugoi! Oh, this new model! And then, the other person's like, I don't care if he's an otaku. I'd follow him to the end of days, because he's amazing. And then he gets hit by a car. And then, you sort of flash to this world where they're riding carriages, and it's a world of, magic, and it's attacked. Their carriage is attacked by this giant monster who this robot comes and saves, and this mother is holding this little silver-haired boy who's probably in elementary school, and he sees this, and all of a sudden his, inner otaku flame gets lit, and he's just like, oh, robots! And you see him, they sort of have that sort of like Code Geass, like a different space where you see the face of the programmer, like, oh, I know what I'm going to do with my life, and then you see it sort of, that, oh, the kid is this guy. Okay, I see how it's sort of relevant. And
yeah, he's reincarnated, not teleported.
Yeah, and so that's the way that this show, in my opinion, I forget what it's, the Marty Stew, the Gary Stew, the male version of a Mary Sue.
Actually, I think they use both.
Okay, so whatever it is,
I don't know.
The main character, in my opinion, sort of fits the criteria, but they do it really well because he's just constantly tackling the next problem, the next project, and it works well within the confines of the show, and he's still surprised by things. And yeah, it's a great show. It has some really good animation, some fairly wonky animation, some 3D modeling. I mean, they've got a lot of stuff going on. I've had a blast. I'm going into episode 7. So yeah, I do recommend that. I also really like that they call the frames night frames.
Really?
Yes.
You like that, huh?
I love that.
Why?
I don't know. Stuff dreams are made of. So I just wanted to give that show a shout out.
Yeah, I didn't really watch much of anything except the weekly stuff that we'll talk about later.
Mm-hmm. You lazy bum.
It's not lazy. I was actually very busy.
You busy bum.
No, leave me alone. But I will make a recommendation, and that is a manga called The Lucifer and Biscuit Hammer. And I believe, Julian, you've read a bit of this?
Yeah, but that was like a decade ago.
Yeah, before it had an official release. That's the first time I read it too. So it's kind of impossible to give it a genre, but it starts off with this guy just sleeping in his room, and he wakes up and there's a lizard on top of him, and they kind of eye each other for a second. And
I've seen this hentai before.
No, you haven't. But the lizard is just like, I am Noikrazant, the guardian of the princess. You are now the Lizard Knight or something, and together we must save the princess from the ancient mage who will surely destroy the world. And then the guy looks at him, and then the next page is him just throwing the lizard out the window. It's great. There's a lot of things that it goes places in directions that you would expect, and then just turns hard right and averts it completely, and it does that a lot. Well, I'll give a mild spoiler because it's pretty early on. So they want to save all these. I think there's 12 of them for the signs of the zodiac or something. No, not the zodiac, because there's different animals. But there's 12 knights, let's say, and they all gather together to protect the princess. But the princess wants to destroy the earth because only she can destroy it. and the main character is like, yeah, I'm on board.
Oh.
And nobody else knows about this except the two of them. So it's kind of like she recognizes that he's like kind of messed up, and he at the beginning wants nothing to do with any of it, and until she says like I'm gonna be with the one, I'm gonna destroy all of this this whole mage thing because I want to be the one to destroy the world, and he's instantly like, yeah, I'm on board with this. So yeah.
Well, I thought you meant like planet Earth.
Yes.
Oh, okay. You did
She's
mean
going to
planet
destroy
Earth.
the Earth with her fist.
Okay, I kind of like
Her
turning
fist or
that.
biscuit hammer?
Yes. Okay. So, explaining a little bit more, there's a giant thing in the sky called the Biscuit Hammer, and it's just a giant hammer that the evil mage, is using going to use to destroy the Earth, and she wants to defeat the mage because only she can destroy the Earth.
Huh.
If she destroys the Earth, won't she destroy the mage? Not necessarily.
I don't know.
Because it could be like a base race. I'm just saying. I also appreciate the sort of turn on its head. You know, like the only I can do this.
Yeah.
You know,
This Earth is mine to destroy.
idea. Yeah. Well, my favorite character of all time once said, "Yes, I destroyed the world and created a new."
Dragon Ball Z?
No.
Okay. Goku, what have you done?
It's okay. We can wish it back.
Yeah, if I was to give my recommendation for this week, it would be my favorite manga, History's Strongest Disciple Kenichi.
Yes.
And if you're gonna watch the anime, do the Japanese, not the dub. There were some aspects of the dub which they royally fucked up to the point of not changing the plot, but changing the tone. There's this one character.
I don't remember.
There's this one character named Apachai, and he is
Oh,
that.
yeah.
And he's known by some people as the Muay Thai God of Death. Except, and he's giant. He's like 7 feet tall and just one giant hunk of muscle. But he's also basically a little child. And in Japan, they showed us with his voice, like, "Hey, I'm Apachai." Like, it's really like high pitched and kid like, and he plays with kids and animals.
Kind of cutesy.
Yeah.
He is the Killing Joke.
Uh-huh. And in the English dub, I don't know if they just didn't watch or what, but they gave him a nice, deep, masculine, manly voice.
Doesn't he have like a Russian
Yeah.
Deathbringer accent?
It's like
Yes.
a Russian accent.
He's like the kind of guy that would hit you in the head with a sledgehammer for fun.
Yeah. It's like, that's the wrong voice. Why would you do that? Shame.
Yes, shame.
Yeah.
Shame.
But it's a really, really good show. I love it for many reasons. I do many types of martial arts, karate, Muay Thai, Tai Chi, sometimes, etc. And they do...
I think etc. is my favorite.
Yeah. The Excalibur technique.
I didn't see this coming.
Yeah. But crap, I lost my mind. Oh, yeah.
Martial arts.
Yeah, since I know a lot about the stuff, I like martial arts mangas and anime that do things right. Even if it's over the top, show an over the top version of the correct thing.
Like walking through bulletproof glass.
Yes. And Kenichi does a really good job of that. They also take the, what's the name of the trope of, they just follow a hired boss? What was the name of that one? Like, you defeated me,
like
but the real boss is this guy.
Yeah.
You defeated me, but the real boss... They just keep doing that over and over and over again.
The villain pyramid or something.
Uh-huh. Like, Kenichi's being bullied by this guy in the karate club, and eventually he beats him. The captain of the karate club notices this, and he wants to beat him. And so they fight, and eventually Kenichi beats the captain of the karate club. the gang member who he is under is like, I've taken notice of this. Go, my underlings. Kenichi fights the underlings, and eventually find out this leader of the gang is actually a member of a much bigger gang. So Kenichi's got to fight this big gang. And you find out that the best fighter of this gang is also a member of this underground gang. And it just keeps going and going and going. There's just... Oh, it's lovely. And you...
Yeah, and that's more like on the anime end. And then after that, the manga kind of goes in a wildly different direction.
Things get real.
So yeah, watch it.
Yeah,
watch
or
it
read
and then read it.
Also, it's got a lot of fan service. A lot.
And there go the subscribers.
Oh, we get some more. Yeah.
Yeah, I already made my anime suggestion this week. So watch Knights Magic. Oh yeah, Magic. They have that.
There's magic in the thing called Magic?
Yeah, I didn't say
Surprising.
it, but it's cool. They actually, the robots kind of run on it. I mean, it's a really neat... They have a neat system. I really am looking forward to see how the universe sort of expands on itself.
Have you seen... what's it called?
No.
No, I guess you haven't. I haven't either, apparently. I'll think of it.
Yeah.
Moving on.
In the meantime, in the video game world, we got some new information of Dragon Ball FighterZ. So, they finally announced that there will be a Super Saiyan Blue Goku and Vegeta.
Interesting.
So there'll be both the Super Saiyan and the Super Saiyan Blue. And some people are being all whiny and bitchy about it, which kind of annoys me. But really, the show is so massive, and there's so many different versions of characters, I'm not surprised they took the two main ones and gave them another version. It's not that shocking.
Wait, people are annoyed that...
Yeah, because since this is a different type of game, they only have so many type of fighting slots, and so they didn't want any type of quote-unquote dupes. But those are the people who played Xenoverse. This is different. Wait,
are they different characters, or are they...
They're different characters.
Okay.
So you can choose to have, like, Super Saiyan Goku and Super Saiyan Blue Goku on the same team. Type of thing.
Yeah, also, I didn't know it was a 3-on-3 game.
Yes, you didn't?
No.
Huh.
Crazy kids. Yeah, it's a 3-on-3.
That's interesting.
They announced a new type of, like, party mode. I forgot what they called it. Basically, you can play with 6 people, and each person controls a different character. So that'd be an interesting little teamwork type of thing they do.
How? I don't even know if there are any consoles that support 6 people.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm guessing online stuff. That's how they do it.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Yeah. What else did they announce?
Yeah,
they
I
announced...
saw the online thing. That's what I saw.
Yeah, they announced...
there's a story mode involving a revived Android 16.
Yeah, it's going to be an actual original story. Usually when you play a DBZ game, they just, hey, this plot you've played a million times over? Do it again. But in this case, it's actually an original story. For whatever reason, the androids get resurrected. And Android 16 is for some reason pissed and strong. And he is just messing shit up left and right from what I can tell.
And also 18 is somehow involved?
Yes, 18 is confirmed to be
a character?
Yeah,
or?
18 is a playable character. And it looks like 17
is
will be...
like a striker or something?
No, 17's not a character. He is going to be an assistant to 18.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Some of
he comes in to do a move or something.
Yeah. So that'll be interesting to see. And 16 is obviously the other character announced. So, yeah, that's what they have announced so far. Beta sign-ups begin in like 3 days.
That's the 22nd?
Yes.
Yeah. Ooh, that's right around the corner.
Yep.
Sign up, boy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man, we missed an opportunity.
Huh?
With the Eclipse coming Monday, someone should have said Berserk as the recommended.
Okay, well, let's all recommend Berserk.
Okay, we all do.
Do you guys know that one?
Have you heard of it? I was talking about Berserk.
A lot of people haven't watched it.
Well, watch Berserk.
Well, it sounds like it's awful.
It's really
so.
uplifting.
Yeah.
You'll love it.
It's one of the fun things that we have. Oh yeah, so earlier this week, a YouTuber who I watch called Super Eye Patch Wolf released a video called The Downfall. I think it was the Downfall or the Fall.
Downfall of the Simpsons.
Yeah, the Downfall of
the Fall of the Simpsons. How it happened.
Yes, and it's something we've been talking about for at this point years. He did a really good breakdown of what made The Simpsons what it is and how they kind of ruined it.
And one of the things that he said was exactly what I expected, and it was that most of the original writers just left and kind of were phased out.
Yeah, he did a good job explaining some things where now I understand why I liked some of the stuff they did. And I watched some clips of some of the newer Simpsons, and you can see that spirit is gone. Like, there's no timing, there's no good flow. They just kind of try and just jam things in.
And another thing that I noticed was, and I don't think they've really, it kind of went parallel to what they were talking about in the video, but they didn't kind of exactly say it. But a lot of the newer jokes are like random pop culture references, like, and like Bart or Lisa will say it, and it's like, you know, Homer will say something like, you know, whatever, and then Bart will say like, you know, like Lady Gaga. Did it?
Yeah.
And it's kind of out of the blue, and why would Bart know that, right? And a lot of the older jokes are
timeless.
They're timeless, first of all, and it's kind of more. There's a lot of visual jokes and like slapstick kind of stuff, and it revolves more around them as like a family instead of just you know, the Simpsons are going to Australia. Yay!
Yeah.
So at this point, do you think it's even possible to save it, or they should just pull the plug?
They should have done that years ago.
Yeah.
But it won't.
Yeah.
It'll never
How is
happen.
it still making money? Who the hell is still watching it? Holy shit.
I don't know.
Especially since in like these type of businesses, for like people like voice acting and whatnot, you pay them a little bit more each season. How much money are these people making in at this point?
I don't think they do that.
They, as far as I know, they do that.
I think they... I'm not sure, honestly.
I mean,
I don't.
At the very least, there's no way they're paying them like they would before.
I don't think they get like. I don't think that it's like, you know, okay, well, you know, pay me $1 million or I'm out of here. I think it's like, you know, they might get like a.
They probably do make $1 million.
All those characters.
Yeah, all of them. Together.
I don't. But like, real talk though, I don't think all of them make, you know, a ton of money, because that's a lot just on voice alone.
Yeah.
That's why I'm wondering, like 28 seasons later,
right,
she's being paid a lot.
I mean, I'm sure they got increases, but I don't think their increases reflective of fame. I think their increases reflective of, you know, living costs.
Living costs? Oh, yeah.
Like inflation.
Okay, the negotiations were soon completed, and the actor's salary was raised to $400,000 per episode.
With a net worth of
$400,000
per episode, with a net worth of $50 million.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so...
Okay, thanks, smartphones.
My
wow.
God.
I mean, they're
in 2000,
who is that for?
In 2008, the voice actors received approximately $400,000 per episode.
Yeah, that's what he just said.
Yeah, I know, but like, individually, so not just like those. Yeah.
Wow.
So that's like a few million per episode in just the voice acting alone.
Yeah.
There's no way that many people are watching it. They can keep this up.
No.
What's going on here? I smell a conspiracy.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Illuminati in 1677.
We cracked it, guys. We cracked it.
Someone call Alex
We
Jones.
broke the story.
Oh man, they make this in the back of a pizza parlor, and
And now the frogs are gay.
Oh man.
how? It makes no sense.
That's completely unsustainable with the amount of people that stopped watching 15 years ago.
Yeah, I'm gonna be real. I didn't watch the whole video for The Simpsons because we've talked about this so much. This is so beaten to death.
I hope he did a good job of making it.
Yeah, I'll see it eventually, but it's one of those things where I'm gonna watch.
Yeah.
I've seen at least 10 to 15 videos.
Did you get to the part with the graphs where they show popularity by season?
No.
Okay, so it showed. Was it viewers or ratings?
I don't remember.
Well, anyway, it was some kind of metric about how popular each episode by season was.
Okay.
It was ratings because they talk about how the latest season has been the lowest rating seasons ever.
Okay. Yeah, and they mentioned one episode of one particular season that like everybody hated. So yeah, they compiled the rating of every episode of every season and put it in a graph of average rating per season. And so it's kind of a general, going kind of upwards up until about season 8 where it just crashes.
Sounds about right.
And since then it's kind of like, there's what, 12 years after that, and sometimes it goes up. There's one point where it like goes. Okay, so the general rating scale is the highest I think was about 9, and the lowest was at 6 out of 10. So season 4 I think was the 9, and 8 or 9 was 6. So it goes up at maybe 10, and then after that it kind of goes down sometimes and it goes up a little sometimes, but it generally sticks at around 6 or 7. And then the last season it was just abysmal 6. So yeah, it's generally been pretty bad and probably would have been canceled if it was anything else the last 12 years.
Yeah, that's really sad for me because we have such. I mean, I'm not saying that it's the especially voice actors' fault or anything like that, but it seems like they could be utilizing their talents on things that people would actually enjoy.
Yeah.
As opposed to like inhabiting these corpses on TV.
Right.
Yeah, that's
and like a lot of the voice actors are literally dying off.
Ooh.
That's how long the show's been on.
Yeah.
And every time that happens, they retire the character. So
pretty soon we're just
that why-
pretty soon it's going to be just
Lisa.
Lisa.
Is that why they killed
Maggie?
Mr. Bobble?
Probably. I don't know. I haven't been paying attention to
Who else has
Yeah,
the Simpsons
no.
killed off?
Mo.
Mo's dead?
Mo voiced a bunch of people. A lot of them voice like 6 people.
Yeah.
So that's why they get paid a lot.
Oh my god. Okay.
Harry Shearer, I think, was the guy who voiced him. Or something like that. I think Skinner. They might not have retired him, because that's a big
Go
one.
back up. Let's see. Okay. No idea who that is. Nope.
Anyway.
Unimportant.
Oh
Nibble, it's the class hamster died. Huh.
no. Anyway, enough about that. We all know why The Simpsons is bad. Or we all know that it is bad. But yeah, we'll leave a link about to that in the description. Tell us about how much, or why, rather, people don't like this card game thing. Artifact.
So, I don't even know where to begin with this. So, Valve. You know more about Valve than me. Explain the concept about how they can't count past 2.
They haven't made Half-Life... Okay, so, when Half-Life 2 came out, they had this brilliant idea, which has been implemented by many companies much more reliably and successfully countless times, where they would release a thing, and then after that they'd release more content episodically.
Ooh.
Like, say, once every couple months or so. And they released the first 2 Half-Life 2 episode 1 and 2, but they never got to 3. And so that Half-Life 2 has been on a cliffhanger for
15 years?
Something like that. I think 13. But yeah, so eventually they just said, well, we were never going to come out with episode 3. We're just going to go straight on to Half-Life 3. So it's been a long time since then.
Yay.
And still no Half-Life 3. Not even... Every time it comes up, they won't even talk about it. They're just like, we're working on stuff. We're not going to talk about that. I mean, Portal 2 hasn't had a sequel. People want it. To be fair, Portal was just like Portal 1 was filler for like a collection thing of Half-Life 2, like the Game of the Year edition.
But it was still clever and unique.
It was.
Yeah,
and
I think it's highly overrated.
I think the memes are overrated.
Yeah.
It's a good game, but it was not something that was expected to be a series. So to say that, like, why aren't you making Portal 3? Shut up. But
Left 4
so
Dead.
they aren't making Portal 3. They aren't making Left 4 Dead 3. They aren't making Dota 3. They're not going to. Dota 2 is going great. It's like, why aren't they making League of Legends 2?
That's a good question.
Come on.
But
they're still working on League of Legends 1.
yeah, so with that, at
Forever
the last
in early access.
God, it wasn't E3. It was whatever the last big gaming convention where they announced things happened.
I don't know what it was.
They had we have a big announcement, guys. Oh, this is gonna be huge. You're gonna be so excited.
You won't believe what it is.
And here is a big trailer. Artifact. And then on the bottom, a Dota 2 card game. And the entire crowd, you can hear this, just look it up.
Boo.
Just like, oh, what?
Yeah, it wasn't even a boo. It was like, disgusting.
And just, they were pissed.
Yeah.
And then the boos came while they were trying to, hype it up. The announcer people, yeah, oh man, this is gonna be...
I can't wait, guys.
I can't
it's
wait.
Be great.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk louder.
Wait to play card games.
Please
I
don't
can't
hit
wait.
Oh my god. Oh, I'm gonna get fired. And just... Why don't they do the things people want?
So the reason that they even did this in the first place
money.
Was... Yes, money. Because Hearthstone is super successful. The Elder Scrolls card game is successful.
They've been doing that a lot, haven't they?
What?
Hey, something's successful. We're going to make a thing. League of Legends, Dota 2. Hearthstone, hey, we have our own card game now.
Yeah.
And there was something else.
By Valve?
Yeah. There was another thing where they just copycatted something.
I can't think of anything.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Man, they used to be
they've been copying things. They used to be the innovators. Now they're the copiers.
Which makes no sense because you people have Steam. You have a shit ton of money. Why can't you make these awesome things?
Money.
They don't need more money.
They basically have a monopoly over online PC game distribution.
I mean, you're Valve. You can take
maybe Humble Bundle is a slight threat.
You can take a risk.
But ironically, they Humble Bundle gives Steam keys, so they win either way.
I mean, it's Valve, so even if they take a risk to make a game, if it ends up accidentally sucking, they'll still make money.
Yeah, they can fail and still succeed.
Yeah.
And even if they don't turn a profit, it doesn't matter because they have a ton of money. They don't have any shareholders to appease. They can literally do whatever they want, and no one will stop them. Hey, that's why they did this.
Yeah. Oh boy.
But making the Dota card game, that seems like hey, shareholders say make a Dota card game. Card games are popular.
Yeah, they're demanding.
We should get into this and make it a mobile game with microtransactions.
Oh, I forgot about that. So we got some new news about Shadow of Mordor.
Oh God.
Or Shadow of War.
I forgot about this. It's so stupid.
So last week we were talking about how
yeah.
I did not care too much about microtransactions because it was a single-player game.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently they're adding a multiplayer thing where you can invade other people's fortresses with your orc army.
So it's a little bit like Metal Gear Solid 5, if you're familiar with that, where it's always online and people will send their army to you to wreck you. So...
God,
Day one, people with money to waste will amp up their things, and you're not even buying, stuff. You're buying. It's not like, buy the exclusive axe set or something.
Yeah, it's gambling.
It's loot boxes.
Yeah.
So
it's gambling for kids.
Buy 100 loot boxes, go through them all, equip all your orcs or whatever, and send them to your enemy bases so you can get more stuff for free. So this is the worst possible scenario that could have happened.
I am upset. I
Yes.
was okay before, but with this news...
It's the opposite. It's worse.
I mean, a guy like me who can maybe play a game for a few hours once a week, at most...
Right.
You'll
go away for a week, you'll come back, and all your stuff will be wrecked.
Yeah. Hey, where's my army? Oh, they're dead. Thanks. That was fun.
I can say that having played Metal Gear Solid 5, which it seems to be the same kind of deal, going away for a while and coming back to it, and all your stuff is... Like all your guys are kidnapped, and your base is missing its equipment, and you just got invaded 50 times. It feels terrible because then not only is your can you not first of all, you got burned because you lost a multiplayer match that you didn't take part in, but also your ability to advance in the game is hindered because now all your stuff's gone. It's terrible.
Yeah. Oh, boy. That reminded me of something, but I managed to forget it. Hooray! Some game in which... I'm useless. What else we have until I can remember what I was thinking about?
Swery...
Bless you.
Swery65 is the developer behind Dark Dreams Don't Die and...
Pause. I just remembered... Not actual pause. I just remembered what I was thinking about. These people want to make money through things like microtransactions and DLC. Follow what Dynasty Warriors does. They average around $200 worth of DLC per game. And what they do is just, hey, look at the old costumes, the old music. Here's some new changes to the way something looks. Basic stuff that does not break the game, but makes people like, hey, I like these musics. I'm gonna buy this. Just do that. Seems to be working. You don't need to screw people over.
But how are you gonna cheat?
How are you gonna cheat?
How are you gonna cheat with that?
You can't.
Well, how do you pay to win?
Oh, I see what you're doing. You don't.
Well, but then how do you win the game without actually having to play it?
This reminds me of World of Warcraft. So, if anyone played the original vanilla WoW like I did, it was difficult. It was
vanilla as opposed to what? A million expansion packs?
Yes.
Okay.
Like before the first expansion, you had to work to get what you got, and I mean work. It was difficult. Then came out the Burning Crusade, the first expansion, and they kept the difficulty, but made it a little bit easier to do stuff like finding team members or whatnot. So they found ways to make doing the difficult stuff or getting to difficult stuff easier. Like instead of having 40-man raids, they brought it down to 25. Things like that. Well, it's still the same amount of difficulty for you as a person, but it's now not as difficult to find so many people. Then people got a taste of that and began bitching. We want things easier, make it easier, blah blah blah. And finally came the Wrath of the Lich King. As some people know, it's the beginning of the death of WoW. And it was a little bit mind-boggling how incredibly easy the content was. At the time, I stopped in Cataclysm, and when the Lich King came out, I still knew people who played the game, and I listened to them like, wow, I can, it's not this bad, but just, hyperbole here. I can practically solo this 25-man raid. Like, the final boss, the Lich King, it was not, okay guys, we gotta get the shit ready. There was no Leroy Jenkins. There was no, okay, let's plan this. What's a chance of success? Let's make sure you get the right gear. There was, okay, let's go through the motions. Click, click. Do we get the loot? Let's do it again, guys. Like that type of just everything is sucked out of it.
This is why I don't play MMOs.
Yeah. Oh. Then Cataclysm came and fixed most of that. And then I stopped playing after as one lady put it, Cataclysm.
Cataclysm.
It was this one, I don't know if she's still...
Capcom.
Yeah. She was trying to make money by talking about video games and showing her cleavage, but she showed how little she knew by calling the game Cataclysm. It's like, did you even watch a trailer where they said the name? Holy shit. And it was just like she went off like 12 minutes about, I'm so excited for the Cataclysm. I can't wait to see who the big bad is going to be for Cataclysm. It was hilarious.
Speaking of hilarious World of Warcraft things, World of Warcraft currency is currently worth more than Venezuelan currency on the black market. So
a game with infinite spawning enemies that gives you money has got more worth than socialism. We weren't gonna do politics, but I mean, come on. So before I go on a rant,
that's just funny. Don't go on a rant.
So what is this? The good life I'm seeing?
Yeah. So Swery65, who made Dark Dreams Don't Die and Deadly Premonition, also known as the game that totally isn't based on Twin Peaks because he hasn't seen it. As he tweets out how good the latest season of Twin Peaks is. It's a slice of life game, RPG, where people are humans during the day and they turn into cats at night. And that's kind of all that's known about it at the moment, but they put out a trailer and it's really weird. it's his style. If you know anything about him, it's just like it opens up and there's a bunch of words that like pop up on screen really fast, and it's just like cat and investigation and stuff like that, and there's just pictures of videos of cats kind of being around. It's really weird. So it's a crowdfunding thing on Fig, which is something that I didn't know about, but apparently it's, unlike other crowdfunding things, companies can choose to invest. So if you've got the big bucks, you can put money in and get a cut of the profits back, which is kind of interesting.
It is.
Yeah. So that's going up on the crowdfunding thing is opening on September 2nd. So
who doesn't want to be a cat?
Yeah, who doesn't?
And if you don't want to be a cat, you can be a person during the day.
During the day. If you don't like being a cat, then sleep, which makes you a cat.
Hey.
So you don't have a choice.
Hey, Nick.
Yeah?
Speaking of games, you know what's dead? Platform games.
Platform games. I don't get what you're trying to lead me into.
Nier Automata.
Oh, Platinum.
Platinum
games.
Silly me.
Not Mario.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I wish they were dead.
So according to Hideki Kamiya, who is the I think he's the CEO now. Well, he's the big guy.
The big cheese.
According to him, Nier Automata saved Platinum Games. Platinum Games made Bayonetta, The Wonderful 101, Vanquish, several other kind of character action, hack and slash, Devil May Cry style games. Kamiya made Devil May Cry, though not while he was at Platinum Games. So they also make a lot of licensed games, like, you know, Ninja Turtles, Transformers Devastation. They made the Korra game, and that's like they're not as good as games, but they do it for the money. So
the Korra one wasn't bad. They just could have expanded so much more.
Right.
It was a $15 game.
It's not as good, but it could have been better.
Yeah, it's worth the $15, which nowadays is like $3 because it's always on sale.
Yeah, it's always on sale. It's worth it, but it's... So Korra is a good example. It's a fun game. It's got some interesting mechanics, and the story's kind of and it could have been better. Those are their low-quality games. So think of what their good quality is. It's super like fast-paced, high action, combat-oriented kind of beat-em-up games with like a lot of style and like cinematic quality is put into it.
Kind of like the Nier Automata game?
Kind of like Nier Automata. So,
that sounds like fun. You should probably do a playthrough of that.
Yeah, I should probably do a playthrough of that on my channel, Analog Drift. Yeah, so according to him, Nier Automata saved their company. Which I completely believe, because that game sold like 2 million copies or something.
It was a sequel to a game, right?
It was a sequel to just Nier.
Was that game popular back in the day?
It's more of like a cult hit. It had a lot of problems, like it was at the end of the PS3, so its performance wasn't the best.
Like Shadow Mordor type of stuff?
Oh no, not that bad. No, okay, if you want some fun, just go type in Shadow of Mordor PS3 gameplay into YouTube or something. You'll see some bad bad times. Funny, but bad. It's probably the worst PS3 game ever made.
Well, not the game itself, because it goes fine on PS4 and PC.
Yes.
But for PS3, that just cannot handle it.
Yes, the worst one. A good game, but the worst PS3 game. Yeah. So the first Nier, amazing music, amazing story, amazing character design, amazing. It did some cool things with the way it told its story through the gameplay. But the action was just okay, and it had some kind of odd gameplay contrivances. So it was sort of like it became a cult hit. The people that played it all the way through loved it, and it was like, in their memory forever. And when they heard that there was going to be a sequel, go crazy. When they heard it was a sequel by Platinum, crazier, because they would get the gameplay right. And that was the problem with the original, was that the gameplay wasn't the best. So, yeah. Good work on saving a good company.
You're welcome.
I wasn't talking to you.
Oh.
But that's okay.
What other fun stuff do we have?
Speaking of crowdfunding, and saving companies,
the exact opposite of that.
Yeah. You may know about Mighty Number 9, the Mega Man, the not Mega Man,
the feminist Mega Man.
Huh?
The feminist Mega Man.
No, it was a guy.
Wait. I mean,
yeah. So this Kickstarter for what was the spiritual sequel to Mega Man by the guy who made Mega Man and got fired from the Mega Man company from Capcom. Every aspect of it was a disaster. They didn't deliver on their promises. The game got delayed 5 times. The box art for the physical version, you had to assemble the box yourself, and then the instructions didn't fit in it. It was just all around a disaster. The marketing was condescending towards the audience that they didn't know about. What was the line that they said?
Something about being as lonely as an anime guy in prom night.
Yeah, it's just like, guys, you just insulted your audience. Yeah. It was just terrible all around. And
they made $4 million or something like that.
Yeah, and to be fair, that was way above what they were trying to get. And usually with Kickstarters, if they make a whole lot more, they're going to have delays. So I think a lot of the problem with this was that they didn't have any communication. And the best Kickstarters have a ton of communication.
It helped that
they're talking every week.
One of their, marketing managers was blocking people who were saying bad things.
Yeah, she, like you said, was a bad feminist, and she was trying to get characters changed into women and stuff. She was blocking people on, I guess Facebook. But yeah, not a good PR move for your social media manager to be trying to change the game and blocking people.
Yeah, people not even talking about the feminist stuff, but just hey, what the hell? I kind of want my money back. Block. That's an if somebody wants their money back and you block them, that's a lawsuit.
That's not great. Though the Kickstarter rules about getting your money back aren't great either, as in, you don't. That's the rule.
Well, it doesn't have to be Kickstarter. It can just be, the company. If they want to keep their image. And this one definitely Kickstarter.
So, this... What?
This made people lose a lot of trust in, these Kickstarter campaigns.
It first of all made people lose trust in Kickstarter itself. But also, this guy's image is forever broken.
Yeah.
So, one of the intro video for when he first started the Kickstarter is don't let Mega Man die, and then he faded into a ghost, which is okay, play on nostalgia and no more Mega Man. So that worked very well as a marketing tactic, is no more Mega Man, so buy this. And another thing is, while it was happening and while some of the problems were starting to show up, they started another Kickstarter. Well, first of all, I think they started a Kickstarter for an anime for Mighty Number 9, which I think succeeded. And then they started another Kickstarter for...
Wait. So let me...
There were 4 Kickstarters.
Oh my god!
Yes.
What the hell?
Exactly. So, I'm actually not sure. The anime part might have been
just
a stretch goal.
Just the balls of that is just hey,
yes.
I know we haven't even released this game 6 months later, but give us more money for the anime.
I'm not sure the anime part might have been a stretch goal as part of the first Kickstarter. I'm not sure about that. But then they started a second one called Red Ash, which was a 3D Mega Man, successor. But that was being handled by a different company, so it was some of the same guys, but the developers were different. So lead guy same, developers different. They were... So it looked like it was just okay, we're still... we still have it delivered, but here, give us money for this next thing. But it was mostly the guys that were finished with their part were okay, well, what do we do next? All right, well, let's start this next project while everybody else that's designing levels and stuff are doing their thing. So the writers and whatever start the next Kickstarter. So that starts, and they also do an anime for that at the same time, an anime Kickstarter.
How did that go?
I don't think it made it.
Huh.
I'm not sure. I think the game made it, but the anime didn't. Oh no, you know what? A company stepped in and funded it. And then people didn't like that because it was they sold out. The whole thing was just a huge mess. In every possible aspect, it was just a huge disaster.
Yay!
So yay, disaster.
That was a sad story.
It was a sad story, but on that note, the guy who made Castlevania...
By the way, I'm just going to put it out there right now. I want to make some sort of pun on the Mighty Number 9, mighty as in, it might, it might, it might, it might, 9! Work in progress.
Forced but acceptable.
Thank you.
The guy who made Castlevania, he also did kind of the same, Kickstarter at the same time with a spiritual successor, and he also had a video where it's this is my last chance kind of thing. Only his was really stylish, where he's he's in an old castle and he's wearing a cape and he's drinking wine that looks like blood, and he's they told me there would never be another Castlevania, and he drinks the wine, and then he throws the wine glass to the window, and it shatters, or the wall, and it shatters, and he's like, but I say that's not true. And it's great. He does it with like all this class and style, and then he does this thing that the other one didn't, and shows like this thing called gameplay.
Oh, that...
Yeah. That's always a good sign for a Kickstarter. Show something that exists.
Okay, so it was announced in 2014 that there was going to be an animated series based on the game. It was supposed to release in early 2016, but did not due to unannounced reasons. And people are guessing it's because the game was just such a failure. Like, you know what?
Oh yeah, it was also just a bad game.
Yeah, that too. Like, you know a game's gonna be bad when you talk so much about how... You know, it's like... I'm gonna call it Duke Nukem Syndrome.
Yeah.
When you spend so much...
Duke Nukem Forever Syndrome.
Yeah.
It didn't have that long of a development time, though.
No, but
like
just like general like issues and bad things.
There was something else that came out recently that was... kind of had the same thing. What was it? I forget. Oh, it was Alien Colonial Marines.
That sounds familiar.
That's because it was a huge failure and made all kinds of news headlines about how bad it was.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that.
And also they made a fake trailer with the graphics way better.
Huh. Games like to do that, don't they?
Yeah.
What was the other one that... Oh, Watch Dogs.
Oh yeah, that too. But with Watch Dogs, actually, the graphics actually were that good, but then they kept delaying it, right? And then everyone was like, well, why? It looks workable. And then eventually the console versions came out, and they didn't look nearly as good as the E3 demo version. And people are like, what's up? And they're like, well, this is how it looks. And then some brilliant person found out that if you go into the PC version and go into the settings text file and change E3 version to yes, then the graphics suddenly look like they were supposed to look.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my god.
There is literally a there's literally a switch that turns console parody junk version to off.
What the hell is wrong with these companies? Why would you...
They can't accept that the PC version is the master race.
As a guy from more on the outside, it is. Deal with it. Like, consoles can't compete. It makes no sense. They choose like one single like hardware, and that's what you're stuck with for like 5 years.
Well, the thing is, when they first come out, they can totally compete, and they're probably better most of the time for the average person.
About 6 months.
Exactly. I mean, it depends on who you are and how often you upgrade your system, but they usually can't compete.
Alright, so what else do we have on the news? Anything?
I think that's all the news.
Second Infusion coming up.
Second Infusion. We'll see you there.
Don't
miss it. And of course, you can send us letters to Teacast at thedragonstreasure.com.